hold on the play, I can blame the player. The player failed at his job. The ref is there to referee a game, and they didn't do that.
That one play does not make the entire game.
In that situation, at that time, yes, it sure as fuck does.
They would have went to the goal line. It would have bled the clock.
Ooh, this is going to be a fun
You can't tell me that doesn't affect the game. It wouldn't have given the Rams the ball back. They would have been able to do what you were talking about, a run, take a knee. It could have burned off another timeout. You gave them 4 fresh set of downs on the goal line that they literally could have just lined the ball up, let the Rams use all of their timeouts, waited until there were 3 seconds on the clock, and had one of the most reliable kickers in the game kick a field goal to end the fucking game.
So
it does affect the outcome. Don't tell me it doesn't.
I'm not saying it didn't affect the outcome.
You deliberately told me that play did not make a difference in the game.
I said that's not why they lost.
It's certainly not why it's certainly a reason why they didn't win.
But that's not the reason that they lost. Like I said, that's one play out of 62.
It's the only play that was wrong within the final 2 minutes that had the outcome been different, it would have changed the outcome of the game.
Okay. And you can say that about a ton of plays.
No, because of those ton of plays, yeah, okay, the game could have been over if they decided to stop the game when they were up by 13. That doesn't make it any more fucking true.
Okay, so we're also not taking into account all of the penalties entirely that changed things. A face mask on Jared Goff, fucking pass interference that wasn't called in the second quarter against the Saints. All of it matters. The reason that this is getting more highlight than the missed face mask, the missed pass interference, is because it happened in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yes, because it was the refs now having an effect on the outcome, deliberately.
If they had called the face mask, Rams would have had the ball first and goal.
Okay, but that wouldn't have changed the outcome of that drive, would it?
It might have.
How?
Going from a 4th down to a first and goal?
Right, same fucking argument with the pass interference, but it's not with 50-something seconds left on the clock.
What I'm saying is, you can't not draw the parallel between that and the others. It's just different time.
Because the amount of time on the clock. I can't. Because in this day and age, you give a quarterback a certain amount of time on the clock, they will fire back. And that's what happens.
Yeah, and Drew Brees fired that interception.
3 minutes left on the clock is a huge difference between less than a minute, especially given the timeout situation.
Understood, and I agree.
So no, that face mask could not have had the same amount of impact as that pass interference call. There is no way to draw that comparison.
The comparison is it's a missed call that would have resulted in a first down.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That could have resulted in a score.
But they're not comparable.
They are.
No, they're not.
A face mask can be more easily missed. That other play was...
There's nothing saying either one of them score at that time, but the difference in that is the game is over if that pass interference is called. It's over.
Essentially.
It's over. That face mask wouldn't have ended the game.
No, but it certainly could have extended it.
Yeah, I guess, but...
I get the point you're making, Dan. I don't think you're saying that they are equal, because they're not equal. But the refereeing was terrible all of Sunday.
That I can agree with.
The only missed calls that game. There were many more missed calls in the next game as well.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
It was just all around bad.
Yes, it was.
There's no excuse for it from the refs.
No, the only excuse, like I said, from the ref in the middle of the field, which should be the referee, is the angle that the play was at, as opposed to where he is on the field. I could see him saying, "I didn't have a good enough look to make that decision."
But the other two did.
Well, one 100% did. The other, I want to see the angle that he saw. He probably should have.
That being said, between the two of them, there's no way both of them called incomplete. It's just not possible, especially with the guy with the view down the sideline, who's walking up. He's walking up, and he clearly had a view of the ball, when the guy was hit, and what happened. So what is he basing his knowledge on an incomplete on? Somebody ran the damn thing in Madden, and they called a penalty in that. And Madden never calls penalties.
Yeah. So.
Then again, guys can catch interceptions off their dick in Madden, so that doesn't count.
Well, I mean, Mark Sanchez recovered a fumble off his ass.
Well, yeah.
Totally made up for the butt fumble.
I guess so.
But the point that I'm trying to make in all of this, you're right, Dan O'Shea. It's not that they're necessarily equal penalties. It's that one, don't leave it in the hands of the ref. Do everything in your power to put the game away, and you won't have a situation like that. The refs did not lose that game for the Saints. The Saints not scoring more points when they should have is what lost it. There were 61 other plays. The referees just made a bad call at the worst possible time. And you're probably going to yell at me.
I can't agree with you. I can't agree with you to say that the refs didn't lose that game for them. They did. Could the Saints have done something to make it not matter, that call? Yes. Mm-hmm. But at that point, with the ref's decision, that ref, those referees, changed the outcome of the game by not doing their job. The game could have been easily different under your philosophy. The Rams could have been up by 40 and it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah. The Saints could have been up by 40. But to say that, they should have scored on every fucking play like they're playing on easy mode in fucking NCAA football is ridiculous to me.
I'm not saying that they should have scored on every play.
Right, but you can't say that they had 61 other plays to score on. There's only one where the referee fucked up and affected the outcome of the game. There's only one.
What went on in the other 61 plays that led to that point?
What went on in the other 61 plays that makes you think that the game would have been drastically different? There's nothing. You're predicting on hyperbole.
I'm predicting based on the fact that there are things that could have been done, that should have been done.
This is why you shouldn't coach football. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because if that's your fucking mentality, and you said that to me as a GM, the moment you fucked up and didn't win a game, down in the last seconds, I'd be like, you're fired. You had 63 other opportunities to win that.
No. The argument that I'm making, if I were the coach, is that we can't blame this on the referees. It is our fault, no one else's.
That's a bullshit argument.
How?
I fought and I kept myself in that game. I put myself in a position to win. I didn't choose to get a pass interference call. I didn't choose to blow my job. I did my job for all but the last minute where you affected my job.
Okay, so then if you want to blame anyone, blame the defense for giving up a 13-point lead.
The defense, again, you can, in this day and age of the NFL, you can't be serious with an argument like that.
You get paid millions of dollars to stop the other team. Otherwise, why even play defense at all?
The Browns have been putting out a team of millionaires that can't even stop anyone for years, and you're telling me that a team should just not give up a 13-point fucking lead.
If you're in the NFC Championship game, you should be a team that is capable of playing offense and defense.
But we know that that's not fucking true. We know that that's not true. We've seen it time and time again, where teams don't need defense to win championships.
Well,
look at the Patriots. Half of their defense is made up of fucking people you've never even heard of, but they're there every fucking year. A lot of the times, coincidentally, they're there because of the fucking refs.
True.
We're going to get into that, because we're going to fight about that game as well.
2-minute drill. Name a more iconic duo.
We're going to fight about that game as well.
Batman and Robin, but they're a close second.
Batman and Robin. Oh, man. You're forgetting left Twix and right Twix.
Oh, no. There's beef there. They're not a dynamic duo.
Mike and Ike, they're back together.
Depends until Ike starts acting up again.
7-Up Bandits.
Anyways.
That's where I was going. I just didn't really want to make it that obvious, but well done. Glad you picked up on it. Thank you.
Anyways, my philosophy in sports, regardless, we'll even take it out of football and take it back to a different game or a different sport. The NCAA championship between Kansas and Memphis. If one player has the wherewithal to be like, you know what? I'm going to foul Mario Chalmers. Memphis wins. That's a decision.
Yeah. You're right, but that's a decision made by the player.
Yeah.
That's a decision made by the player at that crucial moment. This isn't something the players got to decide. They did everything right. They did everything right to the point that the play was a busted play so much that Roby Coleman didn't even think that he needed to pay attention and was like, well, I'm screwed here. Might as well throw myself at this guy.
You're up by double digits. Like, I just don't understand how, like...
What do you mean you don't understand? Was this the first day you've watched football? Have you never seen somebody come back?
I've seen people come back. What I was about to say, if you wouldn't interrupt me, is I don't understand how people can be arguing, yeah, well, forget about defense. It's half the fucking game. Half of the game is
anymore. Look at all the rules to protect quarterbacks. Tom Brady got fucking touched and he got a passing or roughing the passer call.
Talk about that, too.
He got patted on the shoulder. That's like, hey, good job, man. Nope, flag. It's Tom Brady. How dare you touch a god?
Yep.
You breathing in the same room as him, and this is a stadium. How dare you? Flags for all the fans. Every one of them. It's first and goal every time on the one for the rest of the game.
Oh, man. Anyways. Just don't put yourself in a position to where a team... Where that referee has to make that call.
Yes, that would always be the ideal. But I don't like watching a game where a game can be decided at... I don't really feel like the flag. I've been lifting it out of my thing. It's just too much effort. I'm not doing it. Yeah,
I know. I don't like it either. Obviously, it was pass
you can
interference.
make the argument, don't put yourself in that situation. Right. But games are going to be in this situation. It could have been back and forth. Let's just say this hypothetically, that if the game had gone touchdown, everything was even. Would it still be the fucking refs? Would it still not be on the refs for that call?
Why didn't you get a stop?
You can't stop everything, Dan. If you could, there would be no fucking game to be played.
You don't have to stop everything. Just get a
in
stop.
your world, you do.
Just get a stop.
They only gave up 20 points to a
Why
team that was averaging over 40.
Why did the Rams win in overtime? They got a fucking stop when they needed it. They got a Hall of Fame quarterback, a Super Bowl MVP quarterback, to throw an interception. They got a fucking stop.
Yes, there are times where people make plays, Dan. That's how
Just
it
make
works.
a play!
Okay, but that's not possible at every fucking time, Dan.
I'm not saying every time. I'm saying
certainly
when you
seems
need
like it.
Make a play.
Okay, but there are... Dan,
We're going to have this argument in a little bit. Let's hold off. Let's hold off for the Patriots game because we're going to have the same fucking argument. All right. Regardless, the Rams are in the Super Bowl, and the funniest thing about all of this is that there's a fucking lawyer in Lafayette, Louisiana, who is sending a letter of injunction to a judge to sign to get the Super Bowl stopped until the NFL replays the game.
Well, that's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
It'd be funny if it did.
It's never going to happen. Never.
It would be funny, but it will never happen. The NFL isn't willing to admit that it is a problem with brain injuries in a sport that requires you to hit people with your head. They're not going back and replaying a game.
No. Nope.
The fact that they even said that they fucked up is
monumental.
Yeah, is huge for the NFL.
Huge. So, Los Angeles Rams have punched their ticket to the Super Bowl. Let's move on to the AFC, shall we?
Why?
Well, because...
More yelling.
More yelling, exactly. The AFC Championship game was just as exciting and dramatic as this game goes into overtime as well. First time ever that both the AFC and NFC Championship game went to overtime. The Chiefs were held completely scoreless at halftime and entered the fourth quarter down 17-7. Over the next 15 minutes, all hell broke loose. 38 points were scored between the two teams. That would result in overtime. Patriots got the ball first, and of course, the Chiefs stopped them, right? Wrong. Brady gets his receivers to do what they get paid the median bucks to do, and that's catch the fucking football.
But why didn't the defense stop them? Why didn't they step up and make a play?
That's the argument I'm going to make. Listen, okay, so we're just going to jump right into that. When people... I've been reading all day, it's not fair, the overtime rules are not fair, the team that gets the ball first is going to win. Really? Because